Welcome to 3-week workshop on programming in C++. In this video, I'm going to explain the concept of arrays. We know that the concept of array is very important in any programming language because of this characteristics of array. So before going to know about that the concept of array, we must to know why we need to go for an array. So further, let us take a one simple example. So assume that I'm going to add 3 marks. I'm going to read a 3 marks and I want to find the total. I want to find the sum of 3 numbers. Just we need to create the 3 variables and just I'm adding it. But here, if I want to add 5 numbers, I need to define another 2 more variables to I need to create a 2 more variables to extend it. So if the number of requirements still changing, the number of variables in our program is extending. And these variables will not give an assurance that the values will not be, the memory will not be allocated continuously because of this variable. So it is not a constraint that the memory may be allocated in scatter way. So that it is a very difficult for me to handle, like say, individual variable. If you want to store n number of values, instead of the continuous, if you are storing in a scatter, it is very difficult to handle it because the number of variables is high. For example, simple example, I need a 3 value, I need a 3 identifier. If I need 8 values, I need 8 identifiers. So instead of that, always I am looking for to store all the values in a continuous memory and same name. It is a very easy for us to work. So with the help of this array concept, we are going to store all the value, more than one value of same type, data type of element in a continuous memory. So it will be achieved through the help of arrays. I will repeat once again. So if you are if you are storing a many number of values of same data type, so we need to maintain n number of variables so that the value we can't assure that the compiler may not allocate the continuous memory for this variable, so that the maintenance of the variable is very difficult to handle. So for that, we are move on to the concept of array. By using the concept of array, means we are allocating a memory in a continuous manner for storing the same element by using in a single name. So, but if you are using the concept of variable, normal variable instead of this array, the value means we need a separate identifier. We need a separate identifier to maintain those values. So we feel very difficult to maintenance of this identifier because of the symbol table maintenance. You know that the symbol if you know the procedure for a working principle of compiler design, you must be aware about the symbol table. Symbol table is a data structure just storing all the all the identifier details and the corresponding information of those identifiers. Okay, now move on to the definition of an array. So now we understood that why we need for an array. So by using an array, we are trying to store the values in a continuous memory of similar elements. So array is defined as it's a collection of similar data elements to be stored in a common name in continuous memory location. So this is the definition of an array. So for example, first of all, we must know the concept of array clearly. For example, just a minute, I can just fix a column with. Okay, so just assume that I need 5 elements to store, so that we need a 10 bytes of value. So we need a 10 bytes of value. So for I'm going to take only this integer. I'm going to that integer. I'm going to say it's a 10. So I need 10 values to be stored here. So this is for integer, so that we need 2 bytes of value for storing every element. So assume that this is the address is 1001. Here for assumption I'm taking the address is 1001, but the address allocated it depends on the compiler. So 5 continuous memory, so that it's a continuous, so that address must be continuous. So it's a hexadecimal format, so that it should be represented in hexadecimal format. So this is the address of every bytes. Even the last video I in identify while talking about the variable, I told that always that array will that each and every variable to hold the starting address. So this is for one value. This is the memory for storing one value. So here, for example, I am going to store only 5 values for easy understanding purpose. So here, just so that 5 memory location values are allocated. But it's integer, so that for one value we needed 2 bytes, so that the 10 bytes are allocated here for storing. So that always the address of A is, so this is the address of A. Always address means A is always to point to the starting address of your array. So that if you are seeing an array that is called the index of 0, means we know that the array elements are accessed by using index. So by using always it will point to the starting address. It is 1001. So always the index is 0, and the elements are indexed by using elements are accessed by using index element. Index always start with 0. So in this case, if it is means always the array index is 1001. If I want to accessing that element A of 0, I need the address is 1001. Then only I have to combine the 2 bytes 1001 and 1002, because always for every variable to hold the starting address of that memory location. Even though it's the 10 memory allocated for the particular variable, always it is to the starting address to access it. Okay, so here I'm going to define how to declare an array first. I'm showing that the concept of array is a collection of similar data elements to be stored in a continuous memory by using common name. So here the array elements are accessed by using the name A. By differentiating their index, the values are extracted, and the memories are allocated continuously. So and it will use to store only the integer category for this data type, because I'm declared as an integer. And for accessing procedure, always the array index always means array elements are accessed by using index. The index always start with 0, but here the negative index will not be supported, and the maximum index size means the maximum allocated memory minus 1. For example, if allocated A of 5, so that the maximum element is n minus 1, so that it is 5 minus 1, it is a 4. So that the index varies from 0 to 4. And so normally, if you are trying to, C and C++, if you are trying to access the unallocated memory, depends on the platform, it will work. If you work in like Windows platform, it will not show any error message. But if you work in Linux or Linux platform, surely it makes an error messages, code dumped, or maybe it's a segmentation fault. If it is shows like this, surely you are trying to access the value of unallocated memory. So that always whenever going to write a logic, always the size of your, the maximum size of your list cannot exceed the maximum defined the list. Okay. The first of all, you must know what is the syntax for creating an array. So the syntax for creating array is, first of all, you have to define data type, then variable name. So it is an array. Always the array can be identified by using the square bracket, and you are going to, if it is a one-dimensional, it will be one square bracket. So based on the dimension, you can define the dimension, means the number of dimensions. So here, for example, I'm going to use only one dimension. So here we call as subscript. Here, this is square bracket is called as a subscript. By using this symbol only, we are identifying that this is a variable. So here it is array is a collection of similar data elements. So we are going to define only the particular data type, so that only the elements will be stored on the same data type. And by elements are accessed by using this name and by varying this index. So here you need to specify the size, so that the size can be changed from 0 to size minus 1. The value of this index varies from 0 to size minus 1. Okay. So first of all, we must know how the memory is allocated here. Okay, instead of that, I'm going to remove everything. So I'm going to create a one integer array for easy understanding. I'm going to say of 5. So I can allocate, I want to store a 5 elements inside of your array name A of data type integer. That means that the array A, it holds the value of whole numbers. Okay, I told that many of them I'm mentioning that array is allocated a continuous memory location. So I'm going to show that address. Just please carefully to visit. So ampersand means that you are going to print that array address. So normally the index, like you are always array name, within that you have to specify the index. Okay, so let us take like this, or otherwise if you want you can do without using a looping. I'm going to print the starting address. out. I'm going to print the starting address. You know that if you are putting only the name of the array and that index, it means that it is a value in the index. If you are putting it ampersand symbol, it means the address of the index A0. So I'm going to use slash just to print the address of the starting value. Just I'll copy. Just I want to print up to that index 4. So the same form means it is the same formula. But the only thing is, the same statement, but only we need to change the index. So just I'm going to print it. So instead of that, I'm going to change only the index. So this is the third index. So here I want to print the address of first index, second index, third, means zeroth index, the first element address, second element address, third element address, fourth element, and fifth element. So that always the index will indicate that always it's a starting index. Now I'm going to compile. No error. See that the address are represented in hexadecimal format. So if you want, you can do it in integer. That means that in a decimal number, so that maybe it will be represented in negative number, so that because you are converting hexadecimal value into integer, so the integer capacity is a minus 32,768 to 32,767. So that maybe there is a possibility to display in negative also. No need to worry about it. Just you can see the flow. It's enough. Normally, you know that if you know the memory organization, so maybe you are aware that the values that means the memory will be allocated with a compiler only, so that it may be the memory in descending order, maybe in ascending order. And let us take this example here. Just to see that it starts with the minus 20. So just it is in a reverse order. You know that it is an integer, so that it allocates 2 bytes, correct? So minus 20 and minus 19 allocated for first zeroth index, and minus 18, minus 17 is allocated for the first index, and minus 16 and 15 allocated for third index, means the third element, and minus 14 and minus 13 allocated for fourth element, that is for index 3, and minus 12 and minus 11 allocated for next index. See that for easy understanding, see that the same statement, that is the same cout statement, is repeated, and everything is same, only the changes on an index. You know that what is a variable? Variable means it is holding a value, and the values of this variable value can be changed during the execution of the time. So that the same statement is repeated. You know what is looping? Looping is the process repeating the same statement more than once. So you get the same action, but only the changes on an index, so that you can use this index as a variable. So instead of the statement, instead of writing each and every line, I'm not interested to go with like this. I'm going to replace this. So you know that it is a looping. So in a previous video, we had a discussion on looping. So here I prefer to go with the looping. So I put in the looping here. I want to know, I need to define only the here value. So you know that the value of this index only can change. So what I need to do is I'm going to use a looping. The index start with a 0. And after 0, the index is 1, so that the value of I is incremented by 1. So I want to print the address. So that I want to, you know the working principle of looping. So I less than 5. So if you want to repeat a particular action for more than once, we are preferred to go with the looping. So in a previous video, we had discussion on the looping. So you have aware about that. The same will be displayed. Just a minute, I can display a slash in here. Sorry. It's a display as usual, but you want to display in integer format because address will be in an integer, so that you can display in integer. Even if you want it, you want unsigned integer, just you can run it. It will be shown on unsigned integer format. See that 65,516, 18, 20, 22, 24. So it is in the increased order. Because there is hexadecimal format, while conversion there is no problem, but don't worry about that. That just you can think about the continuous way, because it is a 2 bytes. In case instead of this integer, I'm going to change the data type as a float. But I want to display the address only in the integer format, so that I don't want to change it, because I want to display only the address. Here no need to, here there is no relation between the data type of your array and your display method, because I want to display the value only in the integer format. Then like an easy to understand. Then 65,500. So the memory address is always changed. It don't, it means it not is in the same address. See then 5,000. Just to think about the last 3 value 500. Then for the next value, it go for 504. It means that 500, 501, 502, and 503 is for allocated for 0th index. And 504, 505, 506, and 507. I mean that for address. Means I mean for memory. So see that there is a gap 4. So that it is a, because of it is a 4, it is that means because of a float, it is a 4. In case I'm going to say it is a double. The first index is 76 and the next index for is 84. The gap is 8 bytes. In case I'm going to store as a char, for a char it takes only 1 byte. Now check it, that it will display only 1 byte, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. See that always the memory allocation is have a fluctuations. So that from that what you understand that the memory address cannot be understood by it cannot be assigned by the user, so that it will be assigned by the compiler, so that we can't assign a some specific address for the variable. So it will be assigned by the compiler. Okay. So now you have some clear idea of that. If it is an array, always the memory will be allocated continuously. In case if it is a floating point variable, so if it is a floating point variable, just I can show it. So I want to store 1, 2, 3. I want to store as a 20 elements. I mean, I want to define float. You can define A is a user defined name. If you want, you can define it. So here the 5 elements. So that 1 element I need 4 bytes. So totally I need to allocate 4. That means I need to define, means I means 20 bytes I need to allocate. So it will be combined by a 4 bytes. So 4 bytes will be combined for storing a 5 values. So 5 values will be stored. Element 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. I want to define the index. So this index is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because the 5 elements, so that index varies from 0 to 5. Okay, let us to go with just I'm going to float now. Just I'm going to run that value, means display the address. 65,500 address is displayed. So this is 65,500. This is for 501, 502, and 503. So this entire 4 address used to store only one value. So that just 65,500. Then from this address, I need to combine 4 bytes to find the value, first one value. So like that we have to understand 504, 505, 506, 507, 508, 509. So this is a hexadecimal format. So 50A, 50B, 50C, 50D, 50E, 50F. So now next one is 60, 61, 62, 63. So then the address of your 1 is 504. The address of 2 is 508. Address of 3 is 50C. Then address of 4 is 6C. That means that 65,560. Small correction here. You need to append 5 here. So if you want to know the address of AR4, it means that it is a 65,560. Clear? Okay. So this is the way the values will be calculated. Means that the memory is organized. So the memory organization is very, very important for calculation. So if you want to find the address, the formula was normally there is a formula we have to calculate that address. So address for one-dimensional array. Only one square bracket we have, so that it is a one-dimensional array. Always it means that it is one general formula. Always we have to calculate that the formula is starting address of A plus index value into size of the data type. It means that what is the data type we use, we have to define the data type. So here, if I want to know that address of AR4, for example, equal to, okay, here it's in some decimal format, so you make a confusion. So assume that I want to find the value of AR2. So equal to, so always the starting address means always the address of A0 must be in a starting address. So that here my starting address is 65,500 plus the value of A, I mean the index value is A2. I want to find this, so is a second index element star and the data type of size of data type. Size of data means size of float. Size of float. You know that the size of float is? So size of a float is, oh sorry, here it call the function. So just I can remove this equal. Okay, 65,000. So 65,500 plus 2 into 4. So that answer is 65,000. 2 into 4, 8. So that it will display that 65,508. See that starting address of your second index element is 65,508. So like that, the address calculation will take place. So even though if for a two-dimensional array, the address calculation it takes place like this. So this is the way the memory will be allocated for the variables. Means for an array concepts. So then by using an index, we are easy to access in. Just to go with just technical part. So now we know that the using index we can access, and the index always start with 0, and the negative index will not be supported. The maximum index must be that maximum size of an array -1. So then if you want to know the number of memory bytes allocator, the number of elements into size of your data type, multiply you can for one-dimensional array, and for two-dimensional array, row size and column size, and multiply with your size of your data type. So normally the array can be classified into 3 ways. One is a one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. And so one-dimensional means you have only one square bracket, and if it is a two-dimensional array, it is a 2 square bracket, and the multi-dimensional means more than 2 square bracket. Or even for more than one-dimensional, it's also called as a multi-dimensional array. And the arrays can be initialized in 2 ways. Either you can use compile time initialization or maybe a runtime initialization. Okay. For example, if I go with the compile time initialization, okay. So here, if you want to print the value, just you can remove this ampersand. It's enough. If you are removing the ampersand, it's enough to display it. So that whenever you are going to access the value of your array elements, always you can use any kind of a looping statement or while or do while or for displaying the values. So I'm going with the compile time initialization here. Compile time initialization means that at the time of declaration, we are assigning a value. So I'm going to initialize a way. Here I'm going to display only 4 values, so that the other 5 memory will be allocated. It means that 5 into 4, 20 bytes will be allocated. Means in the first 2 index it will be stored 4, and second index 5, third index 6, and fourth index means 0th index 4, first index 5, second index 6, and third index 7, and fourth index will be 0 because the default value for the array is 0. Just you can check in. It will display like that 4, 5, 6, 7. And the last value is 0 because once if your value is not assigned, the default value is assigned as 0. If I'm going to insert 9, I mean the fifth element, it will accept it. But in case if you are trying to store another more value, it shows us it is an error message because you are saying that only you are allocating the memory for 5 value, but you are going to try to initialize for 6 values. So this is for compile time initialization. So that is called too many initializers. So that so better if you go with the compile time initialization, better you can leave a space in the size area so that automatically the compiler count how many number of values in the within curly brace, then it will be considered as a size. But it will display only 9 because I didn't change the conditions. So you have to change the condition at 6. So means that up to 5 you have to display so that all the elements will be displayed. So this is for compile time initialization. If you go with the runtime initialization, you can read a value at the time of running. So that the limit is very, very important. See in 5. It's enough. So just I'm going to print, I'm going to run it. as the value. So I'm entering 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so that it will display. Even though if I'm going to run the value as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 10, 20, 30 will be displayed, but the last one will be displayed as a 10 because they have a compile time initialization. But if you are go with the runtime initialization, just you can define a size. But here in this case, you do not leave it empty. If you are leaving empty, compiler makes an error message. The size is unknown. And also means that you can't define any variable here. Means here it can't define a variable. Like means it may it may be a has defined variable, but it can't define any constant variable and all. Here the size is unknown, so you must to define a variables. No, I want it, Abhina. You can go with like this hash define. So h10. So it is a compile time replacement. So wherever we have a h, it will be replaced by 10. So now we can compile. No errors. Only it accept for a hash defined, but it not accept for constant variable. You can't use this. Its a value is assigned, so it's accepted, but C will not accept. I will repeat once again. C will not accept, but here it is a compile time initialization is that, so that the C will not accept for a constant variable, but in C++ it allocates a constant variable to define its size. So that's all about one-dimensional array. Next video I'm going to explain the concept of two-dimensional array. But the remaining way the processing and writing a code is everything same. Only thing is the declaration, the memory allocation is very important. Thank you.